Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Let's Play Pokemon Eevee. I'm going to start off here by saying you definitely did miss one or two trainer battles there. Nothing majorly important. I did, as I was recording here, I ran into an issue. The power went out, like mid-record, so I lost a little bit of gameplay footage. Luckily, like I said, nothing of like real importance, but I always like to be transparent about that stuff. But today we are going to work our way through some trainers, then we're going to head on over to the electric gym, and we're going to take care of that. So it should be a pretty straightforward episode. I'm honestly like really stuck on what I should do for the next episode, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, folks. There you could see you know, our team is doing pretty good. We're still relatively under-leveled, if I'm going to be 100% honest. I was not expecting that, but you'll see it when we walk into the gym. We are fairly under-leveled for the challenge ahead, which is never good news. And I mean, a lot of that is because, like, the whole catching mechanic in this game to, like, grind up points. I wish I could battle Pokemon out in the wild, I guess is my one big takeaway. Like, that would be a lot of fun. Like, here, in this case, right, I don't have Eradicate, so I'm gonna go and catch Eradicate, and I caught a Drowsy off screen before everything died out on me. But I'm not really, like, I guess I just don't see a benefit in catching a lot of Pokemon that I'm not gonna add to the team, because we don't get, like, candies for them or anything like that. Like, we just sort of get stat boosts, which, once again, are nice to have, but they're not, like... They don't really make or break the team. I guess in some ways they do. They do benefit us greatly. But I also, at this point in time, don't have my full team. So I don't want to be giving stat boosts to certain Pokemon and not others. I know later in this episode I will be doing that very thing. But I try to avoid it for the most part until I have the team that I'm like pretty set in stone with. And right now I'm not set in stone with my team. Like, I don't know if Ratman's going to stay on the team long term. Pretty good Pokemon, but I don't know if there's a better alternative, right? Like a really strong grass type like Executor would be pretty solid. Foreskin, I know I definitely want to get rid of for a similar type Pokemon. I'm not going to spoil anything on there, but if you're familiar with Gen 1 and the ground type, you'll sort of know where I'm going with that element of it. There's a pretty bulky Pokemon that they introduced that we could get pretty early, so we're going to do that. And like I said, really the reason why Ratman's so prevalent in this episode is because he knows Dig and isn't resistant to the electric type, but he's not going to take a ton of damage from it. So being as we're going against the electric type gym, it makes the most sense to level him up to his fullest potential prior to that gym versus like trying to start halfway through with Foreskin, because that's just going to lead into a number of problems that I don't particularly want to deal with in that gym. But there we go, we beat this guy as well. But yeah, like I said, yeah, I'm not against catching Pokemon, but I don't have like my ultimate team here, you know? I kind of want the dream team, like I stated in the last episode. I sort of have like the basis of it, right? Like who's going to stick around here? Gunshow definitely is, Spoons definitely is, and Taiga definitely is. So I have half of the dream team. The other half is subject to change. And even, man, Gunshow. And that's I normally don't have a normal type, so it feels very odd. And if I do have a normal type in Gen 1, it's always Snorlax or Tauros. Consistently, those two. Such great normal type Pokemon. Snorlax more on the defensive, Tauros more on my element, like the all-out offensive beast that it is. But we don't get that luxury in this episode. And it uses Fissure here, which is a move I've never seen, but is a one-hit KO. I just can't use it twice in a row. So this move is actually going to devastate a good portion of our team because we really don't have anything that's good against him. Which is why a water type will be introduced. But I think it's like maybe like 4 or 5 episodes away before we even get the opportunity to add that water type onto our team. Let's try and use Double Kick and see where that gets us. Hopefully we don't lose Gunshow here. We're going to, because I know Fissure's probably going to hit this turn. And it's a one-hit KO. So regardless of what I use, he is going to just throw Gunshow into the ground. That kind of stinks. And now we got the dog up here. Hello, puppy. Hello. She's got a pretzel. For anybody that's curious, she's munching on a pretzel. Up here on the couch, and we just got a new blanket on the couch. It's like this big red-ass velvet blanket looking thing. She seems to like it a lot. I think it adds to my single man status. You know? Really sets the tone when people come over. But regardless here, I'm going to try and go for a quick attack and knock him out of here. And that worked. So otherwise we would have lost Ratman too. I can lose 2 revives at this point. I honestly should go back and heal at the gym, but I don't, or at the Poke Center, but I don't feel like wasting a ton of time. And he gets to learn Thunderbolt here. So that's actually pretty awesome. I don't think he's really going to need Double Kick all that much anymore. So I'm going to replace that with Thunderbolt. But that does a good chunk of damage. Especially for his, like, special typing being electric typing. I know for as much as I'm talking him up, I'm likely going to get rid of him from our team, but man, he is such a great Pokemon. And I'm really banking on the fact that we don't need a Pokemon to fly to, like, form part of my team. Otherwise, my team's going to change drastically here. But I don't think we do. I think it's, like, all learned through special abilities like the Cut is. Right, we could just sort of knock down bushes and stuff like that. I think that falls into the same category. But I'm not 100% sure on that as well. So we'll see where that leaves us. Let's give these guys some revives. Let's heal up our team. Everybody deserves it, honestly, at this point. And I was just checking this to see what it does. But we won't really be using that. I should have gave them health as well. But I guess Average Joe thought that that wasn't a swell idea. I don't know, if you ever played through these games, you know that, like, sometimes you just do stuff out of habit, so, like, the revives come out, and it's like, oh yeah, let's do that. But then I start thinking about it, and it's like, you know, I left Spoons in position 1 with, like, half health. It could be, it could just erupt into a very bad situation here. Now, luckily, Spoons is gonna one-shot Jigglypuff, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So that's good luck on behalf of Spoons. Let me see here, the dog's looking at the ground like if she dropped a pretzel. Here, take this toy. Okay, she's got a toy now. She should be satisfied. And here's a Nidorina as well, so this is also going to be probably a one-hit from Psybeam, being as it has the poison typing, it's going to be weak to it. And that's really where Spoons comes into, like, full play, is almost every Pokemon on Team Rocket's team is a poison typing. So for Spoons to have the ability to go in and one-hit, like, entire teams, no problem, is a huge advantage. Like, understatably huge. It's the biggest thumbs up I could give in Kanto. You want, ideally, an Alakazam. I'm always a fan of that line, so I'll settle for Kadabra, but the Drowsy Hypno line is also fantastic. It's just a little bit slower. So, like, in this case, I do want a Glass Cannon, because I know what I'm going to use it for, but if you want an all-around best Psychic-type Pokemon and you can't get Alakazam, Hypno is probably a really good selection there, the Hypno Drowsy line. I've used it in the past on, I think we used it in our last Nuzlocke when we did Fire Red, I think. Hypno was a big element for, like, a long time. Like, he really hung on there. And when we lost him, I was pretty shook up about it, from what I remember. Like, it made a whole bunch of difficulties. I can't recall if we got to the Elite Four with him. I don't think we did, though. I think he died just, like, slightly prior to that, and it was, like I said, I was pretty perturbed at the whole situation. I remember thinking, like, that's the end of the Nuzlocke right there. I mean, we prevailed anyways. I was able to luckily pull out an Executor and things like that. Like, luck was on our side in a lot of different elements, so I was able to prevail, but it could completely shake up a team in a Nuzlocke, so. But that being said, yeah, he was an amazing team member, like, up until the end. I would greatly recommend him as a Pokemon for anybody interested in that line, but I really have an attachment to the Kadabra Alakazam line. Like, for me, that's like, I don't know. It is like the coolest Pokemon in Gen 1, in my opinion. Alakazam is so much fun to play with. Outside of the obvious, I mean, Mew is the best Psychic type, arguably. It's the most well-distributed Psychic type. Mewtwo's a little bit stronger, probably better for what I use it for, but I think Mew in general just has, like, such a cool appearance that it's really hard to ignore. And let's see Ratman's signature move here, his Thunderbolt, which if you watch the anime, I did as a kid a couple episodes. Yeah, you'll know that Pikachu uses Thunderbolt pretty frequently. Taiga leveled up there. That's nice for Taiga. He's about to use Machop. Will I change my Pokemon? I will back into Spoons here, because Spoons will one-hit the Fighting type as well. Another fun element to use Spoons in. If he outspeeds, he'll likely one-hit, and he'll just demolish any Fighting type or Poison type that's laid out in front of him. Just so good for that purpose. And against Ghost typing, I mean, I'm assuming they have it fixed a little bit here in Gen 1, where he will be resisted by the Ghost typing, but in the past, when they broke Gen 1, when they first came out with it, and I'll probably say this a million times, because I'm me, yeah, Psychic completely did not take damage from the Ghost typing, instead of it working the other way around, or them being super effective against one another. I forget what the initial layout was, but it was just that Psychic was immune to Ghost. So it made it so that way they really couldn't do anything. And I have caught at least 60 Pokemon now. I believe I caught 61. So yep, I can get this Squirtle right here. And I already caught a Squirtle, if you saw in the previous episode. I don't think it was the one before this, but maybe like 2 or 3 episodes back. So I will be able to trade this Squirtle over to Professor Oak and potentially get some benefit out of doing that. I don't know how rare the spawns are on like the actual trio here, but it seems pretty rare, and I haven't come across the Bulbasaur spawn yet, like where we're supposed to genuinely get him throughout the play, so it seems pretty rare to get those guys. And out of all of them, I think Bulbasaur is probably the best fitted for our team. Like I said, I don't really want to go that route. I've said that before. I don't want to use any of the original Kanto starters coming out here, because I just feel like my team would immediately turn into Eevee, Charizard, Blastoids, Ivysaur, or Venusaur, Dragonite, and Kadabra. That would be my team, like 100%. I've used that team before. It's really effective. Not in this game, but I think that's almost the exact team I used in my playthrough of Yellow, which I want to go and redo, honestly. At that point in time, like, I was really bad at playing through Let's Plays and things like that. If you have the opportunity, go and check out that playlist. It'll be like Let's Play Pokemon Yellow. It's all the same photo throughout all the episodes, and it covers every single element. There's like 0 editing that goes into it. It was a mess back then. It was when I was first getting started doing Let's Plays. And that's, yeah, part of why I wanted to go down that route. Was recently was asked in the questions below, why did I start doing Let's Plays? And honestly, it was because like I was wrapping up college and COVID started, and I had nothing better to do with my time. I didn't really have a ton of inspiration that went into it. It was I didn't really watch a lot of Let's Plays. I watched more competition stuff, like Scott's Thoughts comes to mind, if you've ever seen that channel, where he goes and he plays through like the whole game with one Pokemon and sees like what level they can beat it at, and competitively like what's the best move set and things like that. So like that kind of inspired me to do a little bit of this, but I would say largely it was I was going to sit down and play video games as I was wrapping up college and starting my professional career. And I decided that while I was doing that, I might as well do something with it, right? Like just not let the footage go to waste. So yeah, that's to cover that. That was, I asked if anybody wanted a Q&A. One person asked a question, so I addressed that question. That cool, Raichu? That one's for you, buddy. Also, a very cool Let's Play channel. If you have the opportunity to check it out, I would recommend going and checking out his stuff. He produces a lot of stuff. It's pretty consistent, and it honestly pretty good, and does a lot better coverage of like some of the smaller stuff than I do. He has much more patience for actually recording every element that goes into the story and posting about it. So, like I said, if that's something you're interested in, go and check it out. But there you can see we flipped a switch which turns off one of the barriers there. So if we get it wrong, it turns that back on. Luckily, it doesn't use the old logic where it becomes randomized after that. The first switch is always under here, and the second switch is always under whatever trash can it will lay under. So it's a cool little element. Like I said, in the past I've dealt with it where it would randomize it and we would have to cut out 20 minutes of this video while we search around garbage cans, but luckily this streamlines it a little bit. And you know myself, honestly, I want to battle everybody in here. I want to get as much experience as we possibly can before I battle the gym leader. So it's not like asking me to do this is a huge step backwards, but it can be a bit of a headache at times, I will say. But like I said, at least this time it's not so bad, right? We know that it's in that first slot. This guy's definitely going to use a super potion or a full restore. Yep, there we go. Okay, I saw that one coming. So let's hit the quick attack, and then it looks like the dig is going to be a one-hit KO after that. So let's go with dig. It's likely going to hit us with quick attack and do some damage. Yep, but not enough to knock us out, which is the important part. So let's go. He's going to try and attack. We avoid it. Let's use dig, and that should knock out that Pikachu. So we're good. Good job, Ratman. I will say, even though Ratman's not going to hang on till the end here, at least I don't think so, Ratman has been doing a substantial job. And Spoons grew a level. So good job, Spoons, as well. So let's check this trash can. Nope, it's not this one. Of course not. So that likely means it's the one in front of it, because they usually spawn within the 4 quadrants there. So it could be diagonally, but I have a feeling it's going to be the one directly in front of it. So that way it, quote unquote, makes us battle every trainer. Like we could only really skip one if we knew what we were doing coming in here. But like I said, to me at the end of the day, that's no big deal. I really want to go through all of these battles anyways, because it better prepares us. So let's just walk right into it, and then let's worry about the trash cans after we do that, because I'm going to do that anyways. Like, at the end of the day, I want to make sure I'm on par with the level. So he sends out a Voltorb, and this is actually a very interesting fight throughout the Let's Play. This is probably the most interesting battle I've been in the whole Let's Play. So I'm going to go and I'm going to dig. But Voltorb uses self-destruct, which is going to... His Pokemon is going to reach 0 HP, but I'm going to deal a massive amount of damage, right? So I'm in the yellow. Now this is a really cool element. I didn't hit yet, so I'm going to use dig. He's going to send out another Voltorb. I have the opportunity to switch. I wouldn't ever want to switch in this instance, because if Voltorb comes out and outspeeds and uses a self-destruct, he's just going to die for the sake of dying. I use the dig, it's a one-hit, and it's perfect. Voltorb faints, and we end up walking out of there clean. That is a really... I know, like, that may seem like whatever, just like another battle, but that was really cool to play through. Just 'cause I don't get a lot of moments like that where, like, actual strategy is involved. Like, it's very rare that something like that occurs. And if there's any background noise, like crunching or anything like that, I apologize for it. The dog here, she's got her bone. She's going to town. You know how it goes. Hey, if it were perfect, it wouldn't be on the Average Joe show. That's right. It wouldn't be on this channel. Let's use some potions up here. I think that's all of them. Yep. And I honestly wanted to do that. I want to get it down to where I just have super potions left, because potions aren't really doing much anymore. But if we find them out in the wild, we'll use them. They're not worth buying at this point. We'll just buy super potions and revives. And of course, yep, it's right there. as expected. It could have been diagonally, because they can only really be in like that quadrant there, but that's fine. Let's go and battle Lieutenant Surge. So I actually think this battle is going to be a little bit challenging. All of the trainers in this gym have had Pokemon slightly higher level than our Pokemon. So let's see what we can do here against Lieutenant Surge. Here he comes out, and of course we'll take a photo of that and put it in the intro for this episode. He sent it out a Voltorb. Hopefully it doesn't use self-destruct. That's my big knock. Just don't use self-destruct. What level? Oh, he's higher level than us. So that's not good news, because his ace is going to be even higher leveled. So light screen, I think that protects him a little bit, but I'm just kind of hitting A as fast as I can throughout it, so that way I don't even have to read it. It's going to use Thunderbolt. I avoid the attack. Let's use Dig. Dig doesn't even do half, or it does a little bit more than half, but that's really dangerous. It's going to use Swift now, which is going to do good damage. Not great, but still pretty dang good. Okay, let's see how Voltorb responds. The ideal attack there would have been self-destruct, but it didn't go with it, so that's fine. Knocked out Voltorb. I'm hoping for a Magnemite here. Okay, yes, perfect. Because I think Magnemite's HP is, like, generally lower than Voltorb's. So we may be able to one-hit with a Dig here. If it outspeeds us, it'll do some damage. It doesn't outspeed us, that's perfect. Uses Thunderbolt, that's okay. And Light Screen's effect wears off. So Dig will likely do enough here. Oh, it doesn't. Oh. And Thunderbolt, it's going to hurt, but it's not going to do a ton of damage against Ratman. That was enough, though. I would say let's use Dig again. I was kind of expecting him to heal, which is why I did that, but otherwise I would have used Quick Attack. But that's okay. We could deal with that. And then I believe his ace here, as always, is going to be Raichu. It is. Okay. This can cause problems. And I think we should switch into Gunshow to handle this. Because Gunshow has the buff stats out of everybody on the team. Now, hopefully I don't make Gunshow sad here. That's my main concern. Because if we make him sad, that could be bad. Thunderbolt, let's see how much that does against Gunshow. Oh boy, okay. Headbutt does about the same. So let's try Headbutt again. It's going to do Thunderbolt again, because of course it is. It says Gunshow, whatever, was in a pinch. Whatever, Gunshow hung out for us. Let's use a Super Potion on Gunshow. We want him to make it. Come on, Gunshow. You could do it. I think Gunshow could do it. Gunshow is thrilled to battle. Okay. I think it said it almost cried a little bit there. That's why I didn't read that aloud, because that's really disappointing. It's really upsetting when they hang in there just for the cause of the battle. But Gunshow's going to use Headbutt, and I think Gunshow's going to send it away here. So, not that bad. We were under-leveled, which at the end of the day meant that we had to use 2 Pokemon, which really isn't all that bad. And Ratman grew another level, which is nice. And of course we defeat Lieutenant Surge, but I really like to keep everybody alive since I started doing the Nuzlocke. Like, it just makes a difference. I mean, 1 or 2 sacrifices here or there, especially when it comes to like Elite Four stuff, isn't going to be a big deal. But look at that. We slapped 5, me and Gunshow. I don't know if we would have did that if he died. Like, it would have been... I don't want to see it. Like, I feel genuinely disappointed if we let our partner down. You know? I feel like that has some repercussions. But whatever, we get the TM for Thunderbolt there. We get to teach it to an Electro-type Pokemon to give him some extra punch. But really what we want to do with it is teach it to a Pokemon that's particularly weak to Electro-typing, or would not be seen as having an Electro-type move, so that way we could use it as like a substitute move. That's how I always like to view it. That's why I like to give Kadabra, like Fire Punch, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch, and then one Psychic type move, because it really gives him like perfect coverage. But here's Misty. Misty's making her way. She wants to show us to Diglett's cave. She was gonna go swimming in the sea. She's like, where are you heading next? You want to go to Diglett's cave? It's pretty close by. If you haven't been, I could show you the way. Want a guide? And let's go. I don't know. Misty's a cool character. Why not? Let's follow Misty. I actually really like the way that the game does this, because like in Yellow, you could get to this point and be like completely confused on where to go next. But it's not necessary. But it's ungodly difficult if you don't go to Diglett's cave and go through that route and then go down and get the effect for lighting up caves. Like it could be detrimental if you're not familiar with it. Even if you are familiar with it, it could be devastating to going through that. But now at this point here, we're just doing some cleanup. With that being said, I am going to do my outro here. We do go and we talk to one of the guys in one of the buildings. He used to give us like the bike ticket. I don't think we need that in this game, which is why it doesn't give it to us in this game. But I'm gonna do my quick outro here. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff definitely motivates myself to make videos just like this in the future. We'll be playing this game here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we'll be playing Super Mario 64 on Mondays and Fridays. There may be an exception to that rule coming out this week. There may be an episode coming out on Wednesday. I'm not going to promise anything. If it does come out, it's probably going to be 5-6 minutes long, just because there is some bonus stuff we could do. If not, we'll likely have an episode that comes out on the weekend covering that. So either Wednesday or Saturday, you're going to get an additional video this week for the Super Mario 64 series. Likely not for this series, just because this stuff tends to be a little bit more streamlined, but just want to make everybody aware of that. But yeah, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, if you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you all here on the next one. I hope you are all having a snazzy week, and it continues to be snazzy moving forward past this video. But yeah, that's about it. Take it easy, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Enjoy this 1.5 minutes of me not speaking into the microphone and just having Pokemon footage to view. Take it easy.